I am Father.
Hey, listen, I want to talk to you about 7 roles of a father. What are those roles? Provider. A lot of times that's what I hear. I hear that the number 1 role of a father right now is being a provider. And even though being a provider is an aspect and a true aspect of fatherhood, I want to give you 7 roles. I want to give you 7 roles, and hopefully after those roles, you'll be like, you know what? Provider is not that high up on the list. Role number 1, responsible for emotional and social development of his children. So because research has shown that children with involved fathers have better outcomes in areas such as academics, emotional well-being, and behavior. I mean, children with involved fathers are more likely to have better relationships with their peers and are less likely to be engaged in risky behaviors such as substance abuse or sexual activity. You can manage that process. And it's really as simple as, talking to them, being straight up with them. But that's rule number 1, emotional and social development, responsible for that. Rule number 2, providers of discipline and guidance. This is not to say that mothers are not capable of being disciplinaries, nor does it say fathers can't be nurturers in any kind of way, but rather that traditional gender roles are often results in these distinctive parent characteristics. You can get so caught up like I was in being a disciplinary than being a nurturer. But when I got divorced, my boys lived with me. I had to learn to be a nurturer because I think we got both of those in us. I remember when I got divorced, I took my son Ethan to the mall. I think Ethan was like 9. I was walking in the mall with him. He grabbed my hand. I was like, look, dog, I can't walk in the mall while holding your hand. Little did I know he was needing that. And for him to grow up in the way that he should grow, he need both sides. Rule number 3, being a positive role model. All fathers got to be positive role models because your children is watching you. They doing what you're doing. They're going to model their behavior after you, their values after you, based on what they see and learn from you. Here's the thing. Showing children how to be responsible, respectful, and kind is going to be part of what you have to act out. It's what you say and what you do, especially in this age because children are getting a lot smarter. You should also be a good listener and communicator who is able to understand and respect his children's decision, his children's feelings, his children's opinions. You got to be able to respect that. You got to allow them to have a voice. You have to be a positive role model where you are exemplifying that type of behavior. Rule number 4, fathers have to be transcending. What do I mean by that? They have to understand how to evolve over time. As your children grow and develop, you have to grow and develop. Because a father role in the early years might primarily be focused on providing love and care, while in the teenage years, the father's role may shift a little bit to being more focused on providing another level of guidance, another level of discipline. Because what happens is you evolve. You evolve from a new parent, a parent of a teenager, to a parent of a college student, to a parent of a career guy or gal. I hate to hear parents say, listen, I'll be glad when he get 18 because when he get 18, I'm kicking him out the house and I'm done with him. That ain't true. How is he going to go to the next level? You had to learn at 18. It's another level of parenting. You got to transcend. They're going to have more responsibilities. And this is just college. But when they get out the house, that's their first lesson at life, for real, for real. Even when they graduate and get their own family, they're going to come back to you when they at the bottom level, how you was able to be patient with me when I was doing my dirt in your house. So you got to be transcending. Okay, let's talk about rule number 5. Rule number 5 is you got to be flexible. You got to be flexible to the changing environments of your child because your child is going to go through different things. And both male and female go through hormone changes. So you got to be flexible and you have to really put the work in to learn about those different changes. Now, you went through it, so you're going to have some information, but at the same time, you got to be able to adapt and do a little research. The way you went through it ain't necessarily going to be the way they have to go through it. So you got to be flexible and you got to be able to adapt. And sometimes that means you got to relate. You got to be able to relate to them. I know I went through a lot, right? My dad wasn't really there, so I could have that conversation. My uncle was there. And what he would do all the time is relate to me. The type of shit I was going through, I was like, felt like I was the only one going through it. Brought me all the way down. So rule number 5, flexible and adaptable. And number 6, one of the father's roles is to understand the purpose of uniqueness, meaning you are unique and every child in your house is unique. You can't raise them the same way. Every child in your house, in another family, what I'm telling you is understanding that children are unique. You could be a father figure. You could be a stepdad. You could be a stepfather. You could be a coach. You're going to have to understand that these kids are unique and you're going to have to get guidance, get that download, the gift of uniqueness, because that's how God created us. Each one of us unique. Role number 7. Listen, dog. You got to be present. You got to be present. Now, you don't have to be perfect, because I don't know no perfect fathers out there, but you got to be present. You gonna mess up. I mean, actively involved in your children's life, help them with homework, school projects, go to different conferences, I guess PTA meetings, different meetings that they may have. You have to be present, even if you're not in that house, because you could be present from prison. Whole nother video, but I believe it and I'm gonna show you. So listen, these are my 7 roles. I need you to comment below, because I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you're thinking, and we're gonna discuss it. If I gotta put together another video, but I stand by. So these are my 7 roles of a father. Let's go do it. Let's implement it. Let's get better.